again, you're working with Chantelle every single day. Jamie Moore, head coach. What are you? Because there's yourself and Nigel Travis working as a team here. So
I don't really like putting monikers on people, but we'll definitely call Nige deputy. What do you think?
Right. So number 2.
Or Robin. I'll be Batman. He can be Robin.
Right. Okay. Well, there is a certain vibe in this place. I think it's fair to say. But talking to Chantelle about the fight, and Jack and his fight, and obviously Sean's getting out as well, which is great. It's starting to get busy again, isn't it? And Chantelle, I suppose, is the one that you'd be most focused on at the moment because she's in a cracker of a fight, really.
Yeah. She's the biggest one in terms of stature. I've got Turson, Lerone and Sean are all on the Friday, and then Chantelle's on the Saturday. So it's a busy period. I mean, all September has been, you can imagine, preparation for it has been really busy. But it's been good because they can all help each other out and work with each other. They've all been sparring with each other. Lerone and Sean McGoldrick have really helped each other on because they've got sort of polar opposites in terms of styles where they both give each other problems. So they've been able to work with each other to sort of try and work on how to negate each other's best attributes. So it's been really good.
Regarding Chantelle's opponent, Mary McGree, Jay, it's seen as they're going to do a tournament, the 2 140s, and they're going to meet in the final. Mary McGee, do you just speaking to Natasha Jonas and Rhiannon then? They've watched a bit of McGee and they fancy Chantelle to win. It's not an easy fight, but they fancy Chantelle to win. But they see that as the final of the tournament. Do you see it that way?
I said the exact same thing to Shan when the fight got made. I said, this is the harder fight out of out of all 3 girls, the other 3 girls in the tournament. I said, this is the hardest fight. Not saying that the other 2 can't be difficult fights, because obviously stylistically they're a little bit different than Mary McGee. But I also feel that even though this is the most difficult fight, it could be the easiest fight in terms of style-wise. I feel like she'll present more opportunities for Chantelle. Yeah. So she she's not going to jump on the back foot and cause Chantelle problems in that sense. You know what she's going to do. She's going to come looking for her and try and knock her out. It can't be anything but yeah. And I feel like, because I know how hard Chantelle punches, how accurate she is, I feel like she could be presented opportunities and it could end up being over pretty quick.
Do you think it's raining, by the way?
I know this roof. It won't even be raining that bad, but the roof just has that sound where it's really bad. So hopefully we can edit it out because it sounds ridiculous.
It's we are used to a bit of rain in these parts, let's face it. But in terms of what's going on in here, Chantelle, obviously that's a great fight that you can look forward to. We mentioned Sean and Jack in December, which is a belter with Josh Taylor, isn't it? I mean, super confident, but you get the feeling that there's been even talk of, like, Crawford's been talking about Josh Taylor, maybe stepping up, but this is a serious fight for Josh, isn't it?
Of course it is. I mean, listen, Josh Taylor knows that as well. Anyone who knows Jack knows how dedicated he is, knows how good he is, and I've witnessed him in the gym, and I understand. I know sparring's not the same as fighting, but some of the stuff he does in the gym, the techniques of the stuff, his experience for a start. I mean, when he was 18, 19, he was in Vegas sparring Mayweather and Canelo. You just don't, you can't buy that type of experience. So then 10 years down the line, with a load more experience, loads of fights under his belt, fought at a really good level. He's not been as active recently as you'd want to be going into a fight like this, but he's so dedicated. He's in the gym every day. He spars once a week still, at least, which you can afford to do when you're so defensively minded as Jack. His defence is so good, he hardly takes a shot. So he spars, so his distance and timing is never gone. So he's not like he's coming into this for 10 or 12 weeks and going, right, I need to get my timing and distance. It's just never away. So we understand how difficult the fight is because it's Josh Taylor. He's an unbelievable fighter. But I'm confident Jack Carroll can beat any super lightweight in the world, and that includes Josh Taylor. That doesn't mean to say I think he's going to win it easy, because it's virtually impossible to beat an undisputed champion easily. They're an undisputed champion for a reason, but I just feel like Jack's got all the attributes you need to beat Josh.
You think, Jay, the atmosphere, I was saying just earlier to Dom, and like you've stated a few times, how tough of a task it is. that atmosphere that night is going to be something else.
Yeah.
However, I was saying, Jack's very laid back, very chilled. I don't think that's going to come into effect where there's a few fights you could get swallowed up in that. I don't believe Jack will be one of them.
I think if you're going to go into a situation like that, having a cool, calm, collected personality, a bit like yourself, fam.
Cool head in the hot kitchen.
Exactly, that's what I used to say at Frampton all the time, because there was always so much going on around him. I used to say nice and relaxed. So Jack has got the perfect personality to go into the Lions Den like that. And in a situation where the crowd's going to be so behind one fighter so much, I also feel like you can feed off that energy yourself. And knowing he's the underdog, going into the Lions Den as the underdog, you sort of use that negativity in a way, what the crowd is putting to you, as fuel to go against it. So I'm just looking forward to it, because he's waited so long for this opportunity. He did the right thing in a way, I feel, because he'd waited so long. When they wanted to fight each other, Ramirez and Taylor, with the promise to fight for the undisputed title afterwards, it was a no-brainer for me, because why would you want to fight for one belt or two belts when you can fight for all the marbles? So he did the right thing, and luckily Josh has stuck to his word and stuck to it.
Just a couple of other things that are quite interesting going on at the minute. Rocky Fielding. Now, obviously you were looking after Rocky, but he's been in Dubai since the start of the pandemic.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah, so he's just been over here for a couple of weeks, actually. So he came over here to do training camp for the fight. There was a little bit of a delay on the announcing of the date, so he wasn't sure whether it was going to happen. And at the same time, his son was a little bit sick, so he said, listen, I'm going to jump on a flight and go home. He's gone back home, and then we sort of said, listen, you're nearly there now. I was surprised, actually, how good he sparred. Like I say about when you've been out for a while, your timing and distance, but he was sort of spot on.
I was going to ask that, do you still believe there's still a lot left in Rocky? I know he's had a few years out and that there's a lot left from Rocky.
100%. He looks like he's never been away, that's what I'm saying. So when he's gone back to see his son, we sort of had a conversation. Danny Vaughan's over there, and we said, listen, what's the point in doing all that travelling? It doesn't look like you've got a lot to work on, really. You're more or less nearly ready to fight. And Badu Jack's over there, which was perfect sparring. So I said, it sort of makes sense. Danny will look after you. Just finish your training camp over there and I'll just come over for the fight.
Yeah, and one fella, because obviously it's been a while since we've seen Rocky here, but Carl Frampton, still fresh in the memory of him being here. He's a TV presenter now.
Yeah, big news on BT Sport. Yeah, he's doing really well. He's actually presenting.
Have you seen him yesterday? Head to head with Lyndon Arthur, Anthony Hart.
I think he's made for that sort of thing, because what Carl's really good at is sort of feeding fueling the fire, and then stepping back and watching it blow up. So that's what he was sort of doing there. He's just
that's what got him through this place?
That's what got him through here, because he used to set fires all over this place and just walk out and leave it going.
Now, I tell you, someone else that comes into this gym quite a bit, it's kind of nice news on the amateur scene. It's the World Championships are starting in Serbia next week, and Connor Tudsbury, Manchester lad, obviously, but he's been with Nigel Travis since he was about 9, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah, 9 or 10.
At Moss Side Fire Station. And he's going to the Worlds now, part of Team GB. Yeah. Again, such a great kid, and I think Nigel's seen, can I get out there? Can I watch a bit of it?
Yeah, do you know what? It's such a good story. Connor, I mean, we say it all the time about boxing, how it sort of transforms people's lives. Again, Connor's another really, really good example of how it can change people's lives. To see him achieving what he's achieving already, it's just brilliant. And also Nige, because of the time and effort he puts into all the kids down there. Sort of to see something like that, implant a seed like that and let's see it grow and into what it is now, it's just brilliant. So I'm just glad he's got the opportunity, because it's really tough to get to World Championships and stuff like that.
The Worlds are tougher than the Olympics. I think everyone sort of knows that. It's harder to win a medal at the Worlds than it is the Olympics.
Yeah, exactly. And he really is coming into his own now. He's matured. He's so big and strong.
He's gone up to cruiserweight for this.
He's gone up to cruiserweight for it as well. Yeah. So he's probably stuck in between the weights at the moment. When he goes pro, I think people are really going to prick their ears up and take notice, because he's a likeable kid. He's a good-looking bloke, and he can really fight as well.
Just your thoughts, final one now. What's happening this weekend? Stateside, it's Stevenson.
Yes.
Is going in
Jamel Herring.
With Jamel Herring. Of course, you were in the opposite corner with Carl's last fight. So, It's an intriguing one, isn't it? They're at different stages of the career. Obviously, Herring's 35 and Stevenson's only 24.
Yeah.
How do you see it?
I think that could be a factor. You know, Herring looked really good against Carl. Whether Carl was coming towards the end or not, you know, we really don't know. But I don't really want to take away too much from Herring in that sense. He performed brilliantly. They're both really big, even though Shakur's only just freshly moved up, really. He's still massive for a super featherweight. Yeah. Age could be a factor, but I don't think Shakur can sleep on Herring. You know, he really needs to be on his game to beat him. It's a tough one to call. I mean, if I had to put my house on it, I'd probably go Shakur because of the youth and he's still getting better. But it's not with any confidence.
And just put your house on Liverpool Man United on Sunday.
United 4-0, no problem. No, you know what? You know what? In a way, I'm glad we're in bad form because form goes out the window in games like that, and we always turn up. It's Old Trafford. We've got home advantage. Liverpool are playing well away from home. They're in really good form, but usually in games like this, the team in form loses against the team that's out of form.
There's confidence there from Jamie Moore. Jamie Moore, esteemed trainer, and the number one here apparently, Nige.
Governor.
Stop parking in my parking space. I'm telling you.